Did you get a good sleep last night? A lot of people, as they get a little older, find that the quality of their sleep is not as good as it used to be. And it's one of the most important things that we can do to contribute to healthy aging. In fact, it's one of the three things that we have control over: our diet, exercise, and sleep. Those are things that we can control. So I want to talk to you today about some things that you can do to improve the quality of your sleep and give you one recommendation that a doctor makes that is the one thing that they say is the most important thing you can do to improve the quality of your sleep. And it's not what you might expect. My name is Margaret Manning. I'm with 60andMe, and I want to thank you so much for being here today. It's really going to be a good conversation, and I welcome you. Our show today is brought to you by International Living. Now, International Living is a company that helps people make decisions about retiring overseas. They have wonderful resources and reports on their website that you can check out, and they ask the questions that you want answers to when you're making a decision about where you might want to retire abroad. So internationalliving.com/60andme, you can get a copy of their latest report. So let's talk about sleep. Now, this article by Elise Marquand-Johns, one of our bloggers, refers to a book by Dr. Chris Winter, who wrote The Sleep Solution. And he says that doctors, medical doctors, really don't get a lot of training on sleep disorders and sleep challenges, especially as you get older. And yet it's one of the most common problems that people have when they're talking about healthy aging. In fact, she talks about a report in 2015 that they're discovering new things all the time about our brain, but found that the brain actually clears out waste from our body and from our brain when we're sleeping. And this has had a direct relationship to Alzheimer's and to the onset of Alzheimer's. This cleaning of the waste is really important for a healthy brain. So check out the article that Elise wrote, because it's got a lot more detail and links to the articles and the doctor's references. So you'll know that what we're talking about. But that just goes to show how important sleep could be. Now, how much sleep do we need? Well, it's very individualized. Of course, we'll say that. And it's true that some people can manage on just 5 or 6 hours sleep. Other people need a lot more. But they say the average is around 6 or 7 hours. And as you get older, it actually does increase. So you might need 8 hours sleep. Now, challenges when you get older, of course, is that it might be broken sleep. You might have to get up to go to the bathroom, or you might need, you've got some other discomfort that, is just waking you up, or something that's on your mind, maybe a dream or something that's come to you. But sometimes our sleep as we get older isn't always as, all the way through the night. And that's something that we'll talk about in a second. But Elise talks very, sort of intelligently and thoroughly about this, why we sleep. Why do we sleep? Well, there's two main systems that the body responds to in sleeping. One is called the homeostatic system, and the other is the circadian system. This is the rhythm that our body has in all parts of our waking life and sleeping. So this chemical called adenosine makes you sleepy, and physical exercise can increase that. Caffeine can decrease it. So that's the little chemical, the hormone that makes you sleepy. Now, melatonin is the natural thing that your body produces to produce adenosine, and it tells your body it's time to sleep. Sometimes as we get older, our melatonin creation is reduced, and so we don't have as much. Now, melatonin it's not recommended that you take it all the time, but it is an option to discuss with your doctor. And maybe this is when you've used it when you've traveled for jet lag, or in the winter months when maybe you're a little sleepier. But melatonin is a very important chemical that tells your body that it's time to sleep. Now, sleep, as you probably know, at least at some level, has some different stages to it. And according to Elise and the doctors, there are 3 stages. The first stage is the light sleep. That's between wake and deep sleep. And then deep sleep is where you get the most restorative sleep, that when you're truly deeply asleep. And then dream sleep is from light sleep, not from deep. So if you are dreaming, it's because you're in that stage where you're not quite in deep sleep. You're just in that transition. So that's kind of important to know, though, because if you're not getting all three of those stages represented in your sleep pattern, then you've got you may have not a very restful night. Now the REM, they call this rapid eye movement, REM sleep, always usually occurs in the dream state. And this is where apparently a lot of the memory and mood regulation, the important things that happen in the brain take place in that rapid eye movement sleep. So it's, if you read the article, you'll get all of this in a lot more detail. But the important thing to realize is that dream sleep begins about 19 minutes after we go to sleep. So disruptions are not good. If you can get into your sleep rhythm and then fall asleep and stay there and go through those light into the deep sleep and then into your REM, rapid eye movement, or the dream sleep, that's the way to get a really full, restful night. And again, like as we get older, our hormone productions are all different and changing, so we have to be aware of that. But it's really important, I think, that we understand how sleep works. And if you've got any questions, talk to your doctor about this. They may not be the most, like we were saying earlier, the most educated about it because it's not on their priority list, but they certainly, I know, hear a lot from people who are a little older. Now, how do you create the best sleeping environment? Okay, well, we all know, some of the obvious ones I'm going to mention, but I think the first thing, and I mention it because it's one of the cards in our beautiful Aging Beautifully deck of cards. I love these cards because they cover everything from our physical to our mental, psychological concerns, things that are on our mind. But this card is shut out the noise. And that's the first thing I think that you have to do. You have to turn off the computers. You have to turn off all the news broadcasts, the breaking news, all those things that that are distracting. Just shut down the noise. And there's some apps that you can get that will on your phone that might. Well, there you go. There's a technology, but you can just put it aside, and then you can use the apps to calm down. Get that meditation, that mindfulness into your practice, so that you're just shutting down the stimulation that's coming from outside. Go into your bedroom, shut the door, turn the light off. Turn the light off. And this is one, I've got to confess here, I don't like really dark rooms. I really don't like pitch black rooms. But they say if you can hold your hand up in front of your eyes and you still see your hand in the dark, that's not dark, then you're not dark enough. You've got to turn it down so that you cannot see your hand when you put it in front of your eyes. It's a good one, and I've been starting to do that. I leave a little dimmer light on because I just like a bit of light. Maybe you do too, but that's important. So sleep in a absolutely dark, cool room. It's nice if you get the temperature down a little bit too, because the heat will wake you up and then disrupt that sleep. So you can also do things that are pretty obvious, like you can avoid nicotine. Avoid alcohol. Caffeine's a funny one because some people can drink caffeine and it doesn't bother them, but most people agree that it's not that good for you. You can eat. If you're going to eat anything, best not to nibble in bed. But if you are going to have something, fruit is okay. Maybe a cereal or banana, but something that's not like heavy food. Again, that's going to wake you up in the night as your little body's trying to digest everything. So that's important. There's some teas that you can drink, like chamomile and passion flower. I had a passion flower iced tea the other day, and it was really, really good. I was surprised, but passion flower, chamomile, lavender can help with sleep. That's another thing to think about because lavender is, of course, something that has been used historically, like a lavender oil, which I use. You can just pop a couple of drops on your bed pillow, but don't put too much because they say even too much lavender can stimulate. So just a little bit. The most important thing, there's one other thing you can do, and that is you can do some exercise before you go to sleep. As I mentioned earlier, exercise stimulates that chemical that tells you you're sleepy. But one thing I always do is yoga. And we've got a yoga DVD series that's actually free on YouTube. You can watch we've got gentle yoga, chair yoga, and flows. And flows kind of puts it all together in like a practice. And if you do that before you go to sleep, sleep. That can really help to calm. It's the DVDs are, if you want to order those, you can, but everything else is free online. So no excuse. You can have a look and do some yoga before you go to sleep. But I promised you the number one thing that you can do, according to Dr. Winter, to have the most important thing we can do to improve our sleep. All those things I mentioned are important, but the one thing is have a consistent wake-up time in the morning. Now, I don't know what it is about that's so important and relevant, but he says this is something that you can do to improve the quality of your sleep. Have the same wake-up time every day. And it's really interesting because I do wake up almost within a 5-minute range at the same time every day. Do you do that as well? A lot of people I've spoken to do find that there's something about that helps your body regulate the timing of your sleep and those phases that your body goes through. But that's the most important thing. So has your sleep quality changed as you've gotten older? Tell us what you do to help yourself get a good night's sleep. Please leave your comments and share with others, because maybe you found something that really works for you. If it's something that we haven't mentioned, we'd love to continue the conversation. So again, thanks for being here, everybody. Check out our other articles on this whole topic of sleep. We've got lots of articles on our 60andMe website, and also videos here on YouTube. Lots and lots of different ways of looking at it. But I hope that you found this useful. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take very good care. Have a fabulous day, whatever you decide to do. And have a good sleep tonight. Bye-bye for now.